How accurate should historical fiction be? It's one of the most common and surprisingly complicated questions readers ask. Because when you open a historical novel, you're not just stepping into a story, you're stepping into the past. And naturally, you want to trust what you find there. If you're new here, this is Historical Fiction 101, where we explore the questions readers often wonder about, but don't always have clear answers to. And this one sits right at the heart of the genre. When readers pick up historical fiction, there's an unspoken agreement. You expect the world to feel real, not just believable, but true to the time. That means the setting reflects the era. The social norms feel accurate. The details don't pull you out of the story. Because the moment something feels off, the illusion breaks, and with it, the trust between reader and author. But here's where things get interesting. Historical fiction isn't history. It's storytelling. That means authors are constantly balancing two things: factual accuracy, what actually happened, and narrative flow, what makes the story work. Sometimes that balance is seamless. Other times it requires choices. An author might compress timelines, combine real people into a single character, reimagine private conversations no one recorded, and all of that is still considered historical fiction. Because the goal isn't to document history, it's to bring it to life. So, if some flexibility is allowed, where's the line? Most readers are surprisingly consistent on this. They're willing to accept invention as long as the core truth of the time is respected. That includes major historical events, cultural realities, the lived experiences of people in that era. In other words, you can shape the story, but you shouldn't reshape history itself in a way that misleads. There's also something else many historical fiction readers come to appreciate, and that's what appears at the back of the book, often titled Author's Note. This is where many writers step out of the story for a moment and speak directly to the reader. They might share which parts of the story were drawn from real history, what details were adjusted or reimagined, or perhaps the inspiration behind certain characters or events. It's a quiet but important bridge between fact and fiction. Because while the novel invites you to experience the past, the author's note helps you understand how that experience was shaped. Personally, it's one of my favorite parts of any historical novel. And it's also the reason this channel is called Author Notes. Because in many ways, that's what we're exploring here too, how history becomes story. And this is where historical fiction becomes something more than a timeline. Because accuracy isn't only about facts, it's about feeling. How did it feel to live in that moment? What did it cost someone to make a certain choice? What risks did women face that history didn't always record? These are the truths historical fiction is uniquely positioned to explore. And often, they're the reason readers connect so deeply to the genre. In my own work, accuracy matters deeply. Research is where every story begins, but research alone isn't enough. Because I'm not just asking what happened. I'm asking, who did it happen to? What did it change for them? And what did it feel like to live through it? For me, the goal is to create a story that is grounded in real history, respectful of the people who lived it, and emotionally authentic for the reader experiencing it now. That's where the balance lives. So, how accurate should historical fiction be? Accurate enough to earn your trust, flexible enough to tell a compelling story, and grounded enough that when you close the book, you feel like you've stepped into another time and understood it a little bit more. If you've ever wondered how much of a historical novel is real and how much is imagined, you're not alone. And in the next episode of Historical Fiction 101, we'll explore another question readers often ask. How much research actually goes into writing historical fiction? Until next time, happy reading. They might share which parts of the story were drawn from real history, what details were adjusted or reimagined, or perhaps the inspiration behind certain characters. This is crazy. There's a lot of traffic noise going on. That was a plane.